we get to see the laboratory. We get to see these people in uniforms. Now, this is already a good starting point. They have apparently interesting logos on the side of their arm. Now, some people have said that, of course, they are meant to be the Camino logo. They do look similar, but I don't know. They look a little different, and maybe it's just like I don't know. But then we see the test tubes. And this is when I wet myself because they played a tune and they played
They did.
Snoke's bloody theme,
They did.
which is also, isn't it also someone else's theme? Snoke's theme, isn't it also the same theme that's played in the theater
No,
when they
not
talk about
quite.
Plagueis?
It's very similar,
This
which obviously
very
led
similar.
to the mass confusion about Snoke being Plagueis, but they're
Okay,
not quite the same.
okay. So yeah, we get Plagueis' theme. And I'm quite happy with myself because I literally noticed it the moment they started playing it.
Ditto.
I think this is so cool. I think this is an incredible thing. It's not
Mm.
perfect for me because I'm still not sold on it. Because I've heard people say that you know, we have Snoke's theme, but it also looks like Snoke. Okay, it's a skinny, naked guy in a test tube, and he has a big, like, bulbous thing here. I'm not quite seeing the Snoke, but the theme is definitely Bloody Snoke's theme. And I imagine Filoni wouldn't play that for no reason. And then we get, of course, the reveal that this is what they're trying to use Baby Yoda for. Extracting his blood because of his high metachlorine count and putting it into these test tubes. And also apparently a volunteer. Well, we're gonna put it into it, but apparently it's not working. They don't want to kill the volunteer. Am I right on that one, Lawrence?
I think so. I can't tell you what it was word for word, but
Yeah, but it's like they don't want to kill the volunteer by putting this blood into him or something like that. Okay. So,
because we also get the Asian actor. I can't remember his name he was also from the first episode as well, wasn't he?
Pershing or something like that.
Something
that sounds
like
familiar.
that, yeah. But yeah, as Bradley said, they obviously they talk about like the M count, and I was like,
Of course,
a
Midichlorians
lot of
is
people.
such a taboo word.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
right.
they have to be like, oh, M count.
All right, Lawrence, I don't know if you want to join in at this point because, what do you want to add to this section?
You want my hot take? Yeah, it's Snoke. It's gotta be. Gotta
Really?
be. Yeah, gotta be.
But why is he
Because
here? Wouldn't he be on Exegol?
I mean, not necessarily at this point.
They could just be trying to perfect the process.
You know, the Sith Eternal were raised on Exegol. Who knows how old they are at this point? Probably not very old. Too young to perform scientific experiments on clone bodies.
Maybe.
Why not have the Imperial Remnant? Because even the First Order isn't established by this point. So let's have the Imperial Remnant, wherever they are, start the process, and then the superior people can take over at a relative moment. So, yeah, I mean, I think these are just malformed Snoke bodies. They've not properly developed into what we're familiar with yet, but we know that there was more than one because there was about 3 in that big Bacta tank in The Rise of Skywalker.
There's about 5.
Mm.
Oh! I was on about the Mandalorian episode. Sorry, in the tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So they say that I think they said that Baby Yoda's blood was the reason why these clone bodies are so decrepit. Like they rejected the blood somehow. I might be misunderstanding.
I don't quite remember that. So,
They definitely said that there was a rejection of some kind, and that's what caused these bodies to be the way that they were.
Okay.
Could that also link to an explanation of Rey's father, in that they didn't give him
that's
child
blood? That's who I hear people saying is the volunteer.
But like, so what I mean is like Rey's father wasn't horribly disfigured, and I'm wondering if he looked like a normal bloke because he wasn't given
So it's
Yoda blood.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly wasn't force sensitive.
No.
Yeah, and that's the reason he was like disowned, right?
But like, would that be why? Because he's not got.
It's possible.
Wait, so okay. I think we need to do some like little bit of lore here, and this is where Lance is really gonna have to help me because this is where I gave up on Star Wars. So we so Emperor dies. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he is meant to jump to the next body
He performs essence transfer on the way
Yes.
down.
on the way down.
Yeah.
So, but all these bodies that have been created cannot hold his power.
Yeah.
And Snoke was meant to be a body he was meant to go into, but he became a strand cast.
I don't think we quite know what Snoke is meant to be. He's either meant to be a body or he was just a puppet. So while Sidious is experimenting with bodies in the background, he can still control the things in the foreground, but obviously not presenting himself, just via a proxy.
Yeah.
Or that thing where Snoke's force powers are Palpatine channeling.
Yeah. So Snoke
Yes.
is either a failed experiment because of like Baby Yoda stuff or whatever, or he is basically Frankenstein's monster.
Yes. Either one I'm cool with. So, but this is where I'm kind of confused about this. Okay, so these bodies, Palpatine has already been reborn, right? At this point. Okay, I'm fine with that. Because what I don't want is that like Palpatine's still in the ethereal realm and then he becomes reborn. I'm like, no, that should happen instantaneously because then anyone can come back. Okay, so we of course know from the sequels that Snoke is, of course, he exists. So can we assume that Yoda dies? That he gets all his... Maybe?
Who knows? I mean, I've heard an idea floating about that maybe the remnants somehow get their hands on Ahsoka, maybe, or somebody.
Yes,
it doesn't just have to be a child.
Wouldn't that be crazy if it's Ahsoka who's... I
But,
know
like,
she's not
was
actually
it-
Snoke, but is Snoke.
I'd be so upset.
But like, did we ever, before this sort of stuff happened, did we ever get like a thing on what happened to Ahsoka post Rebels? Apart
No,
from
this
like
is what we're
looking.
still trying to find out. This is what we'll find out this week.
Okay,
Which
cool.
is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So okay.
Other things to note to support the Snoke stuff about that scene. So not only did we hear Snoke's theme, but there was parts of Kylo Ren's theme also in that moment.
Really?
Yeah, you have to listen quite carefully, and it is remixed ever so slightly. It's in a higher pitch, but it is definitely there.
What do you think about this theory? Because when you go to the end credit stuff, of course you have the concept arts, and some people say that you can also see, I don't know the species name, but Maul's race.
Sabrax.
Yeah.
Don't know about that.
By this point in the sort of timeline, isn't Maul?
Yeah,
Maul is dead.
Long dead.
Yeah.
Long
dead,
dead.
but maybe
So
again.
There was a legend story where Luke went to Iridonia, who used to be Maul's home planet, and he fought a hologram of Maul that was being projected via Maul's brain, which was being kept in a jar by a mad scientist.
Nice.
I've got the comic of it.
Nice. Wasn't there like a thing where a clone of Maul fought Vader?
Yeah, I've got that one as well.
Some nice, yeah.
Hey, if they want to sort of recanonize that as a fight between Maul and Vader, between Clone Wars and Rebels, to explain why he's on Malachor, hey, I'll take it.
That would be interesting, yeah, because
they were meant to fight at the end of season 2, but obviously they favoured the Ahsoka versus Vader fight instead.
Well, I've just watched like a sort of breakdown analysis of that episode as well. one of the plans was, one of the what are the Inquisitors?
Yeah. Did you watch Mr. Sunday Movies video by any
I
chance?
did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Because
did
one
I.
of them was supposed to be what's his name?
Starkiller.
Starkiller from The Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
One of them was supposed to be him, and not like for me, because I really enjoyed those games. That I'd been like, oh, cool. But
it would piss off so many people if they just killed him off like that, as they did all of the Inquisitors in that episode.
for me as well, having just finished Clone Wars, it's like everything. It feels like everything is finally like connecting with each other. Like you've got the sort of Ahsoka's relationship with Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians. Like why Bo-Katan in this says look for Ahsoka, and then you've got like why Maul is in Rebels and why Ahsoka is doing a thing. But yeah, it feels like everything is sort of, and even the stuff if it is Snoke in the lab, which I sort of am leaning towards, it's connecting to everything. It's like it sort of feels like it's part of the same. Like obviously it was part of the same story anyway, but like
It's giving you a nice backstory, and that's what Filoni said, right? Beginning of season 2, he gave like an interview, and he said that he wanted to make this season more connected. He wanted to do maybe the origins of like the First Order.
I heard about that bit, but
yeah,
that's like literally the only thing I heard.
Yeah, but he just want to like begin to kind of integrate this into the larger story.
I purposely tried to stay away from all of the stuff about it, as is well documented.
But yeah, so anything? What do you have any other pointers on the Snoke stuff? Because I don't know if we kind of went off on a tangent when you were giving your other supporting.
But if it's like with the sort of cloning, because the Emperor and whatever hired the Kaminoans to make the army, would the Emperor then and the Empire still have access to that technology, or are the Kaminoans fairly independent?
I'd imagine they would have adopted her, right?
The Kaminoans are an independent functioning body.
Would the Empire then be like, we're going to come and take your shit? Like, would they go to Kamino even? Would they go, we're stealing your technology?
I mean, again, to refer back to Legends and the original Battlefront 2 game, there's a level where Kamino creates an army of clone troopers in rebellion against the Empire, and you have to take the 501st down there and sort them out.
Ah, okay.
Oh man, it's so juicy. If we get a Snoke story, this is gonna be good. But the base blow up. So whatever we don't really see Snoke, but we see the potential.